Hello everyone. Today's we are going to discuss a new topic, that is mechanism of action of coagulation. Actually, first of all we should know about the coagulants. So before going to the discussion of mechanism of action, we should know about the coagulants. Actually, coagulants are drugs that promote coagulation or procoagulants and control bleeding. Okay, they are also called homeostatics. They may be used locally or systematically. Local homeostatics are called statics. Like physical methods like application of pressure, tourniquet or ice can control the bleeding. Statics are local homeostatics that are used on bleeding site like tooth sockets and wounds. They are like adrenaline, thrombin, fibrin, gelatin forms, thromboplastin powders, astringents, etc. Okay, coagulants used systematically. These are the like vitamin K. Okay, other coagulants like fibrinogen, anti-hemophilic factors, snake venoms, etc. Now come to the mechanism of action. Coagulation can be initiated by either of two distinct pathways. Number one is intrinsic pathway and number two is extrinsic pathway. So now come to the discussion of intrinsic pathway. The intrinsic pathway can be initiated by events take place within the human of blood vessels. This requires only elements like clotting factors like calcium channels, platelets, surface, etc. found within or intrinsic to the vascular system. Number two is the extrinsic pathway is the other route to coagulation. It requires tissue factors like tissue thromboplastin, a substance that is extrinsic to or not normally accumulating in the vessels. Tissues factors is released within the vessel's wall is ruptured. Now come to the cofactors which are used to coagulation of the bloods. Cofactors 2, cofactors 7, 9 and 10 are called the zymosin, which is produced in liver. This is the inactive state. Whenever it release the vitamin K, it comes into the active form. Actually, vitamin K is the essential for activation of coagulation factors. Vitamin K is a fat soluble vitamin essential for the biosynthesis of clotting factors. There are three compounds: vitamin K1, vitamin K2 and vitamin K3. Actually, vitamin K1 is present into the food from plant sources and vitamin K2 is produced into the gut by bacteria and vitamin K3 is a synthetic compound used therapeutically. What is the action of vitamin K? Vitamin K is essential for the biosynthesis of clotting factors like prothrombin and factors 7, 9 and 10 by the liver. Vitamin K deficiency results from the liver diseases, long-term antibiotic therapies and rarely by dietary deficiencies. It is manifested as bleeding tendencies. Other factor is glutamate form, which is on the decarboxylation reaction. It releases the gamma carboxylate glutamic acid. This is a coagulation factor. Gamma carboxylate glutamic acid and calcium ions, whenever reacting into the body, it releases the prothrombin complexes. It make the complex and release the thrombin. And after releasing the thrombin, it releases the fibrinogen and make the fibrin which is the clot onto the wound. This is the mechanism of the clotting factors. Now come to the vitamin K3 example. This is the example Menadione. This is the structure of the drug, which is used as a source of vitamin K and as a prothrombogenic properties. And this is another example of the drug, that is acetomenadione. These are the example of drug which is used to control the blood flow or control the bleeding. Okay. Actually, uses of vitamin K deficiency may result from the various causes. Newborn babies lack intestinal flora and have low level of prothrombin and other clotting factors. So routine administration of vitamin K1, so 1 mg intramuscularly prevents hemorrhagic diseases of newborns. Okay. And oral anticoagulant toxicities, etc. Actually, snake venom is also a coagulant factor. Some snake venoms like Russell viper venom stimulates the thrombokinase and promote the coagulation. I hope you have to understand of the mechanism of action of coagulation. This is the coagulation mechanism of action. Thank you.